Hi, welcome to
Chick Chat.
KC. Yay! Who's with us? Tell us you joined us.
Say
and
hello.
Tell us where you're joining us from. This is Chick Chat KC, and we like to dance in. We dance for a minute. Oh, we gotta get our little banner going. There we go. If you could say hello and like and share this video out, I would appreciate it. We would appreciate it. And hi, welcome. Who is here? Who is it? Kelsey. Hey, Kelsey.
Hi,
how's it going? Yay. Thanks for joining us. Hello, Michael. P-Town in the house. Okay, so one KC, one my area. So how's it going, Heather? How was your week?
It's been a rough one. It's been a rough week. It's only Tuesday.
It's only Tuesday. It's a rough one. Well, since last week, you never know. Things can happen. Who knows? So welcome. Thanks for joining us. So why is it? Okay, so we have awesome topics tonight.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. We have good ones.
We have some good ones. So
we have very authentic topics.
We're going to talk about some authentic things, man. Authentic. Yes, authenticity, which means being genuine, being yourself, you know. What does that mean? And it could mean a myriad of things, and being authentic, showing up in everything that you do, or authentically doing things that are for you.
Correct.
So it really depends on what. So before we started today, I said to Heather, do you notice anything about my face at all? And she said, no. And I kept going, really? Nothing? You can't tell? Okay. So at first, when we talked about this subject, I thought, I'm going to show up with no makeup on today. And then I was like, no, I'm going to show up with half the face of my makeup on and the other half not. Can you tell now?
No, I still cannot tell.
Okay, so this side has makeup. Like when you're showing up authentically. Okay, I did my hair on this side. Okay, I have a bobble on that side. Oops, I just knocked out my microphone. Okay, I have lipstick even on half of my face.
I can tell the lipstick's half on. But the rest of it, I cannot tell.
I thought to myself, if we're going to talk about this, I need to be a little authentic here. I got to show up authentic. So
all right.
It was a test to you, and you couldn't even tell, which made me laugh because I'm so funny about not having makeup on. So, okay. This is makeup. Okay. Hello. And this is the not makeup side. I have rosacea. I'm just me. I'm just my age, and this is my skin. Okay. Nice. So
authentic.
I decided that I needed to show up that way. Like what is it that bothers me about being authentic? And what is it? Is it my appearance? Is it my personality? Is it my skills? Is it my mindset? How am I showing up authentically in everything that I do? So I feel like we show up different ways in different situations, in different areas. I don't think that we're always authentic. I think in our professions sometimes, I used to go with that whole saying, fake it till you make it kind of thing, right? Fake it till you make it. That was in the 80s. That's what we all said, right? Like, fake it till you make it, and dressed for success, which was dressed for the role you wanted and not for the role that you already had. So
Correct.
there, in a way, that's kind of putting yourself out there and projecting what you want into something. So are you showing up authentically? Yes, because you're showing up authentically in what your goals are and what you're searching for. However, was I there yet? No, but I saw myself that way. I envisioned myself that way. So I would show up that way. So that's not what I'm talking about when I'm saying I'm not being authentic. That's just me putting into action, my goals. That was, I was showing up for the position I wanted and for, what I was striving for, goal set. Now, as I'm older and more mature, my authenticity has changed. I no longer am going, we're at a different age group now, right? Like now, we don't need to get married, have kids, have the house. We've done those things, right? Most of us in this age group, you know. So, how are you showing up now authentically? I mean, I don't know if you remember, did you have an aunt that would just had no filter and would say anything? Like do you have an aunt or somebody, a relative, your mom? I mean, in this age group that just like no filter, like zero filter. You just show up authentically and you say what you feel. You don't sugarcoat things anymore. I mean, I feel like it comes with the maturity level, but I also feel like we come to this self-realization of how we need to show up authentically. Like I can no longer fake it till I make it, I now have to be authentic in my relationships and relating to people, because we at our age now, I think that all of us have this discernment level. Like we can smell BS, you know, like BS, we have to show up authentic. If somebody's not authentic, it goes ding, 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 ding. I mean, I have that now. How about you?
Yeah, for sure. And I think for me, authentic also means intentional. Like for me, I don't think so much as authentic being like what are my goals are, where I'm going, or mine is more like being who I am. And that means not letting people off the hook for things that they say or and don't follow up with. It means being authentic to myself. It means me standing behind my morals and my goals, my beliefs, and not letting somebody else change that. I spent most of my life trying to be, oh, this group does this, let me be like that here. No, let me go hang out with these people tonight, so let me be like that tonight and then tomorrow. And it's exhausting.
It is.
And so now it's like, hey, this is who I am. If I'm not your person, that's cool. No hard feelings.
Right.
But I know I'm not for everybody, and that's okay.
Right. That's great. That's a great share. That's it. So don't trade your authenticity for approval. Exactly what you just said. Love and accept yourself for all that you are, and then watch your life bloom. Because if you continually look over at someone else and compare, you're doing the comparative thing. You're not being authentic to yourself.
And you're never going to
not
get
doing your
approval.
Yeah, you're not doing yourself a favor at all. Be authentic to who you are, and the people that are supposed to be in your, like you like to say, in your tribe will line up with you, and they'll be in your tribe. If they're not for you, then they will, not be there. They'll peel away. And that is the way that goes. That's how we do in our social groups, right? So, hey, Teresa, nice to see you.
Yeah, and I think that it's hard because sometimes hey, Philip James, when you have to be authentic and you are authentic to yourself, you're able to be authentic, whatever word you want to use. Sometimes it sucks because sometimes that means you have to not hold on to things that don't belong to you.
And sometimes and Teresa, you're saying finding the right people. Sometimes you do have to go it alone until you do connect with the right people, the right group. What is it that lines up together, and being authentic to yourself, and if nobody lines up with you, still be authentic to yourself and do your own thing. I am getting to a point. I'm very social. I'm an extrovert, and and I love being around people. I love talking to new people. I like meeting them and all of those things. But I'm authentic in who I am. And if we don't line up, I'll be nice and whatever, but I'm not going to go to that next level with you. I'm not going to go to that next, intimate, friendship with you. That makes a difference. But also, if I don't find people that line up with me, then I don't mind spending time by myself. I mean, I don't mind it. I want other people along because I'm who I am. I want lots of activity, lots of things to do, and so I know authentically that is who I am. I used to try to push that part of myself down, going, I wish I was ... And now I no longer do that. I am who I am. And, I hope, whoever I meet, that we enjoy our company together, for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever. And if I'm not your type and I'm too much for you, then, that's
Wow.
it.
Because the bottom line is, when you lay in bed at night and go to sleep, as long as God and I approve of what I've done for the day, that's all I care.
Right.
I don't have to answer to anyone else.
So what do you guys think? I mean, how have you in your life been not authentic? I mean, I used to be such a people pleaser that I didn't even know who I was for a long, long time, because I would put a label. I would label myself. I go, okay, I'm a wife, mother, pastor, whatever. I would put these labels on, and then I would act accordingly, right? Like if I'm dropping my kids off for the sports thing, I'm sports mom. If I'm doing dance class over here, I'm dance teacher. So there are different roles that we take, but for a long time I kept saying, are these the things I really want to do? Is this really where I want to be and doing?
Right.
And I had to be real. I had to get authentic with myself and go,
Well, and then
okay,
the day comes that you no longer are the softball mom or the volleyball mom or the band mom or whatever. You're no longer a wife, and you're no longer. So now who am I?
now who are you?
Yeah.
Now who are you? That's right. You peel off all those labels, and at the end of the day, who is your core authentic self?
Yeah.
And what is it? You do the why thing. Like, okay, what am I here for and why? And that's in my coaching, I'm always trying to take people to the why. I want to find out, what your purpose is. What's God's purpose for you? And that's what I've had to really dial into, is what is God's purpose for me? My authentic self is how God created me and what
Right.
he wants me to do, right? So instead of getting distracted from all of these other things, now is the time for me. Like, that's why I thought of authenticity right now. I no longer am going to join in on things that I used to join in on, because I'm like, okay, God, what do you want me to do? I'm asking him more authentically now. What is it? What path? So what do you think
Yeah.
about that?
Well, and I think that here's the thing: is when you've spent your entire life being 15 different things that you really weren't, and then you listen to what other people say, you're too much, you're too loud, you're too this, you're too that. Then you have to get to the point where you realize that that's just who I am. God created me that way. Yeah, sometimes I am a lot, and sometimes I'm maybe too much, but the right person will be able to handle that.
Yeah. So Teresa, you're dealing with that right now. You're a band wife and a wife, but who am I without that? Finding my purpose here is tough. Yeah. And that's where you have to sit with yourself. I mean, that nobody else can tell. And that's the problem, is all of these years is probably somebody has been in your life kind of dictating who you were and what you were, you know. What is
Right.
it that you see in yourself? I know a lot of people in our age group that find new creative outlets and passions that they just never knew they even were, and they tapped into that, and it's become now, a purpose filled thing for them.
Right.
And so, Teresa, maybe, find something, we're made, I believe, with those personality traits that match our purpose. So, if you're creative, a writer or an artist or a singer, I think we're giving those talents pretty early on for us to figure kind of out, what path we're supposed to be headed in for that. Let's see. I've been told I'm too much my entire life, and now I'm on. If I'm too much, go find less. Yeah, I've seen that bumper sticker a lot, and I agree. I no longer. I mean, I am who I am.
Right.
Like Popeye.
Yep. Well, and I think that here's the thing, and my advice would be, because I've been doing this the last 2 years, is, for the last year and a half, anything that's come across my plate, any activity, anything, I'm like, okay, let me try it and see if I like it. If I don't like it, I throw it out. If I enjoy it, I'm like, oh wait, look there, I enjoy that. So that means I've co-written a book, I've started a podcast, I'm doing this show. Like, these are all things I would never have pictured myself doing 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So
2 years ago, you said no way.
Yeah. I did. I said, there's no way in the heck I'm getting on that TV, on that computer. No. And here I am. And I've been, I've spoken in front of people. I've like all these things that I never would have thought I would do. And that's where I found out that that's where my goals are now. That's my dreams, to get that direction. So that's what you got to find. If you don't know, because I am no longer a softball mom. I'm no longer a volleyball mom. I'm no longer a wife. I'm not a girlfriend. I'm not like anything. I'm just me right now.
Right.
So now it's figuring out, I am also.
I had to go through that.
All of those new things. So process.
Yeah. Well, here, let's say cheers on that. Cheers. Cheers. Are you guys cheersing with us?
Cheers.
Uh-oh, you're frozen. Cheers. You're kind of frozen. Oh. She came back. Well, funny enough, Teresa, I mean, I used to quantify myself as a certain musician wife, and all of those things too. And when I stripped it away, because of all that life ended, right. I did have to scramble. I was no longer a pastor. I was, there were lots of things I was no longer, and I really had to make my way. And it wasn't easy. It was like climbing up a mountain. It was like trying to figure out, who am I authentically? Who, what have I been made to do? What am I supposed to be doing?
Right.
And so there's a lot of things that I want to do, but does it line up with what I'm supposed to do? And that's just kind of where I'm at right now. And I know you're just going into that direction now, Heather. You're like, well, I'm older than you, so I'm ahead of you just because I'm older. But
well,
yeah. Well, I had an empty nest sooner than you. So
right.
When children leave out of the nest, and all of those things start to happen, or I know, Teresa, you've moved, right? So I mean, you do have to find your way. You have to be bold, go towards people, join a class or something that you like. I mean, I've experienced lots of things. Like, I want to go back to like doing yoga and different things that I just haven't done yet. And I'm like, well, are those my people or not? You just don't know. You gotta find your place. And
sometimes you just do things for you, and you don't need the people.
That's right. Well, that's what I mean. You're going to do it, and just, you'll find those people there is what I'm saying. So let's see. I think I try to fit in with different people. Yeah. Canada could be different. Definitely. Yeah. So, well, just find something you like to do, me personally, lately, all I like to do is watch sunsets. You're saying, I'm doing it alone, or not. I have people that join me as well. I tag along friends, but I mean, the sunset at the beach is like my favorite thing now. It's like
Yeah, you've always had the sunset thing. You just used to do it with Bernice.
Yes. That's right. I forgot about Bernice. Well, I didn't forget about Bernice. She's in the backyard. She's guarding my basil and rosemary right now. So
it's a good job for her.
I did. I love the sunset in Kansas. Like I used to sit in the back and watch it go down then. So yes, I'm a sunset catcher. So in fact, it's going down minutes early now, like 8:02 today. Oh, I've already lost 10 minutes in 1 week. Isn't that terrible?
It's coming.
Well, Teresa, join me sometime on the sunset. We all evolve the older we get. Yes, evolving always. Being authentic about that is important. You know, I'm dealing with aging. Like right now, I'm struggling with the aging thing, you know?
Yeah.
Sorry, excuse me. And that's why, you know, not doing the makeup on one side is big for me. You know? I mean, I thought that was really funny that you're like, I can't.
I mean, with your glasses, it's hard to kind of
tell. Without the glasses, you can tell.
But then when you said the lipstick thing, I could definitely tell. I'm like, oh.
You can tell. So I'm dealing with that, and I'm trying to embrace it, though. Just like a lot of people I know are going gray, like they're letting their hair grow out gray, like they're not coloring it. So, oh yeah. I wish I had a balcony to watch them. Bring on fall. No, Caitlin. No.
Caitlin's been shopping for Halloween stuff this week. So.
Oh no. It's been great. Oh, your hair. Mine is. I'm not embracing that. Okay, I'm just going to be honest. I have not authentically went into that realm. Yeah, exactly. I'm with you, Teresa. No fall. Mine
just keeps getting darker and darker and darker.
Yeah. Yeah. Naturally gets darker, right?
Naturally darker. And I am going to keep it that way as long as I can.
Well, you're being authentic about that, though, right? If somebody were to ask you, hey, do you color your hair?
Every other week. Yeah. I mean, it's hard. I can't pull out that this is natural because it's different every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It's brown, it's blonde, it's red, it's purple. It's, you know, you can't lie and say that's real.
So fall is your cozy place. Yeah. See, no. I can no longer go outside. I can't walk. I can't do all the things I like to do. That makes me so angry.
I like fall. I like bonfires and cool nights and
yeah. Well, let's segue that. Fall is cozy. Yep, I'm a summer girl too. I'm a summer girl. Let's segue into bonfires and cozy and camping and then being an independent woman.
All right, let's do it.
So we're segueing, and if you all have a drink, have a cheers with us. A cheers. Have a cheers. 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 Cheers to you guys on a Tuesday night. So
cheers.
So we're segueing from authenticity, but I think they're very good together because becoming an independent woman. Oh, I like that cup.
Can you see?
Cheers to you. Oh, she's so cool. Gal boss, right? Is that what
Girl boss?
Girl boss. Let's see.
Yeah. Says
all right, I'm going to put up one of your memes. So we have a meme for you. There we go. And that's being authentic too. I don't want to be filtered, censored, watered down. I just want to be free to just be me and perfectly unique, just the way I am. That's authenticity as well.
It is.
And then here, we'll put up the second one. Woman who knows what she brings to the table is not afraid to eat alone.
I am not.
Yeah, I know. She got her independent woman thing going on. So
I ate by myself
Totally.
last night, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. At
Not
like a restaurant or
It wasn't planned, but that's how it ended up. But yeah, it's yeah, I mean, a couple of
and how did
Valentine's,
you feel about that?
honestly, I like it doesn't even nothing shocks me anymore. Um I think 2 years ago it would have been a huge deal.
Mm-hmm.
And now I was just like, I mean, okay, bring me my wings. I'm good. I didn't really think much about it. Like it wasn't even a big deal.
There you go.
There won't be a third date, but I was fine.
Right. Right. Because that tells more about the other person that they didn't show than it does to you.
Right.
I mean,
And
that's kind of cowardy. Like, I'm sorry. I hope they're
well,
not watching, but well, no, I hope they are. Don't be
I
a
think
coward. Anyway.
apparently they fell asleep, and who knows? I don't know, but it doesn't matter really. The point being that 2 years ago I would have come home and been like all down and sad, and now I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. Like stuff happens, and move on.
Wow, Teresa, you've never sat in a restaurant alone.
I had until last night.
Wow, really? Until last night, you never had either. See, I used to do it all the time.
No, nope. I've never gone to the movies by myself, or
Wow.
it's never been a thing because I usually just
There's Tina.
I don't usually just go out by myself. I've always got somebody, call a girlfriend, blah, 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 whatever. So, I mean, now I can check that off my list. So it was a blessing in disguise.
Wow. There you go. You put a new notch in your lipstick case.
I mean, I have
Put a
gone
new
in,
notch in your lipstick case, you know?
yeah. And it didn't, like I said, it didn't even phase me really. I was like, okay, well, let me get some dinner. Let me finish my drink. I'll head home. And I came home, put my jammies on, watched TV. Like it was just not a thing. But I think
Right.
that all of that started when the first Valentine's I was single. I fixed dinner for myself and sat in front. You might remember I sat in front of the fireplace and I had my little table set up and I had my own dinner for one, and it's fine. Like it.
Exactly. And that's you being authentically you. Also on top of that, not just an independent woman, but spending time with yourself, it should be enjoyable.
It is.
Having other people to fill up your time and to always be around means that you're not comfortable in your own skin. It means you're not
correct.
comfortable with you. And so, why, you want to be distracted away from dealing with, thinking maybe, or dealing with, the reality of some situations. I think that we do that a lot. We distract ourselves by.
Yeah, and I was so guilty of that prior to COVID, and then when COVID hit and I was home alone, I had to get really used to being home alone. I got to where I really enjoyed it. Sometimes I think I enjoy it too much because, like I said, I'm like, I'm good. I'm just going to stay home all weekend by myself. I have a good time by myself.
Well,
give me a
Teresa,
mirror and I am set.
Yeah. Well, we're glad you're here. See, she's joined us. Her man's out and she's joined us. So see, there you go.
Being that,
I mean, I am starting to really enjoy my time alone. It took a long time for me to do that. I was such a people pleaser that I felt like I wasn't successful if I wasn't doing something, and if I wasn't doing something for someone else. Let's just put a label on that: codependent. So I was very codependent and trying to help everybody else so as to distract myself from my own problems. And so, I had to really do a lot of, counseling and a lot of, talk therapy, that kind of thing to get through that and figure out what in the world was I doing? Why was I codependent? And why was it I couldn't be comfortable in my own skin and just sit with myself? What was that?
Right.
So it's so important that you do that. you know?
It is. And I think that it's also part of being that. I think the downside for me, I'm only going to speak for myself. The downside of being that independent woman is that it's really hard for me to become, if I am with somebody, it's hard for me to get into my feminine energy because I'm so used to being independent.
Oh, well, I like that you're bringing that up about the feminine and the masculine. I had to really break that down too, because I noticed in my relationships is I was always in the masculine. And so then I wondered, well, how come they XYZ? Well, it was really the way I was showing up. It was really because of the force I was bringing in it, the energy I brought to it was making them not have to be the masculine. So they didn't have to be it because I was it. So, you know,
Well,
then
and
I
I
guess
just
they
think,
just sat back and let me do whatever, you know?
yeah. And I
Yeah.
think for me, I've just always been kind of that way because I mean, I started kind of taking care of people at 11. And so for me, I think I've always attracted men that would let me be the lead because they didn't
Right.
have to be. And so now
Right.
that I'm not looking for that, it's really hard. Especially if you're a business owner and you like, oh, it's hard to take off that hat of being the one in charge and then going to letting somebody else lead.
So my
So that's what I'm
question,
struggling with and working on now.
well, that's what I was going to ask you. So how are you overcoming that? How are you saying to yourself, okay, I have to show up in my feminine? I mean, what are the things that you have to do to show up that way? Like,
I think it's hard when you're not in a relationship, not just if it's working or if you've made any changes because you don't have anything to compare it to. But like when I'm on dates, I really try to let them, you know, when there's the pursuing and whatnot, I let them do the pursuing for the most part.
right.
I will throw out the like, hey, I'm interested, and then if they don't run with it, then
Then, right.
you know, for the most part, I'm like, hey, you know, thanks, but
Yeah.
you know, just those things. But I feel like I won't really know if I'm successful at it yet until I'm in a relationship because,
Right.
you know, so we'll see.
Yeah, it's a struggle for me. It's a struggle. I mean still, it's still a struggle. I recognize it and that's the first part is recognizing it.
Right.
Second is doing something about it, you know. Having somebody open my door and stuff is still difficult. Like I still
Mm.
go reach, I still do, and that is difficult. I mean, I have a hard time with it. And you know, I think it depends on our role models too. Like my mother was kind of a strong figure. So that's how I see my you know, a woman role model to be. So, you know, I don't remember my stepfather ever opening the door for her, the car door, a door, anything. But my dad, on the other hand, he does that all the time. He's always done that. So it's like, but it's funny. I've taken on, you know, my mother's. Okay, so yeah, I still try to be in charge. Yeah, it is. It's hard to because I feel like we've been taught something, like it's just been a hard road for us to learn to get some freedoms. I think as women, you know, our vote, we didn't start voting until the 1920s, right? So, I mean, we weren't even allowed to vote
Right.
until the 1920s. So, you know, we've kind of been told for a long time, there's a little dialogue that says, oh, we've been, you know, oppressed, I guess you would say, as women. And it's kind of like, you know, this is what this family unit looks like. The woman's submissive, she stays home. Well, that doesn't, in the 60s, that's when it all changed. Like all of a sudden, all the women went into the workforce. Of course, after all the wars, they did too, because they were always helping to do ammunition and all that kind. You know, remember the what's her name, the one that goes like this,
Rosie the
Rosie the Riveter.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like having that balance right now is really difficult because we're kind of even going way on the left, or we're going on the other side. Like
Yeah, that's
like
part of the
I
problem.
see that that some masculinity is being taken away from men, and women are supposed to be
I agree.
doing that, but I can see where the balance of that is not healthy. Like,
Right. Well, and I
again,
think for me, I know that I don't know if Caitlin's still on here or not, but I raised my daughter to be strong and independent. You don't need a man. You do for yourself. You get your own degree, you blah, 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 blah. And now that she's married to a man, now I'm having to backtrack on that and say, when you have a man that can lead, you have to let him. And I'm having to rewind on everything that I've taught her, because she tends to go in as a strong, independent woman. And I'm like, sometimes you have to let him do things you're very capable of doing just so he can.
right.
And so
Right.
I think she's kind of hearing me, but it's, again, the way we were raised, then we have to go back and backtrack on it and say,
Right.
see, and say, you actually have a man that can lead and not lead you off into a ditch. Let the
Right.
man lead.
Right. But that's where, so that brings us to, a trust issue then, right? Because of our brokenness, we
Yep.
now have a trust issue of letting the man lead, because maybe we were under men that we thought were supposed to lead and maybe led us down the wrong road. And then that's where we have to readjust that ourselves, and you're right. I mean, my mother told me the same thing. My mother was like, always take care of yourself, always, be the lead. But that's because she was in a unhealthy marriage, and she was showing up in the masculine, exactly what we're talking about. She
Yep.
was the one, and had a partner that would just let her, who was passive. So, it's just really, having that balance. Exactly, Teresa.
Yep.
You have to do the give and take. I mean, if you want a healthy relationship, communication and showing up in your feminine energy and not trying to overtake. Like, I'm the worst passenger on the face of the planet. And I have to say that any man I've ever been with is very irritated at me because I have that fake brake, on the of the fake brake. And that's been really hard for me, not to grab the thing and not to freak out. And the thing is that it really just is me. It's like, that's who I am authentically. I am a horrible passenger. Even my girlfriends, everybody in their planet, everybody knows I'm a horrible passenger. That's why I want to drive.
That's why I always let you drive.
Exactly. I'm the worst. So I admit it. And it didn't really have to do with a man that I didn't trust. It has to do with, I just don't trust people driving.
So let's go off from that into a conversation we used to have all the time when you lived here, when we go out, is the intimidated. You're intimidating. You're intimidating. And I used to get so frustrated. You know what I realized? It's because I was in my masculine energy. And therefore, they took that as intimidating. So, do you agree with that? Yeah. Yeah. So,
I authentically agree with that.
So, like you said, at least we're aware of it, so we can try to work on it. But I think that,
Right.
there's something to be said for being a strong, independent woman who, doesn't need a man or doesn't. But see, there's the other problem. We keep saying we don't need a man. So then they're like, well, then good luck. But then we sit here going, well, I can't find anyone. I don't know. Well, you've been saying you don't need a man for 5 years now. So
that is the problem.
One.
That is a problem. It's a problem. Can you tell I've been drinking my wine a little bit more? So we've been talking about this. Anyway, just saying. Yes. Michael says, good point. So it's true. If we're going to say, I don't need a man, then a man was going to say, okay, you don't need me. I mean, right? Why should I even be around? What's the point? I mean, it is hard. And it's really, it's just finding a person that's willing to sit back and observe and understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And Oh, there we go. Tina, I want man, but I don't need a man.
Right.
Right. You can want one. You don't need them. But I
But
mean,
then if
and
you have standards on the one you want, then you get told you're too picky or you're too, no, I would rather be by myself as an independent woman than to settle for something that's less than what I deserve.
right. But like you said, if we're showing up in our masculine, then a man can't be masculine. I mean, he's not going to
Right.
show up in his feminine, he's going to show up in it. Well, he
Okay.
will eventually. Eventually, once you emasculate him, he
Well, then
will.
not the ones that we want.
But then you don't like them. Like that's, I feel, and goodness gracious, women, don't gang up on me, but I feel like that men have a hard time right now because of all of this. I think that they are. It, how do they fit in your life then? How does it fit then? If you're going to say, I don't need a man, I don't want, I don't have to have a man, which is true, right? It's true. But like Teresa says, but do you want a man? Yes. Okay. Then you need to take a step back and say, okay, where do we compromise? How do we compromise? I'll show up in my feminine if you show up in your masculine, and then let's figure it out so we both can have a healthy relationship. Right. That is really where it comes down to. I don't need to tell you what to do. You don't need to tell me what to do.
I'm not trying to change you. You're not trying to change me.
No. So
that's the problem. Women, we go into relationships thinking, well, he's got great potential. And so if I can just change this, no, like we don't need to be changing people.
Right. And also words have power. Like whatever we're saying, I mean, words have power because if you get all your girlfriends to show up and go, yeah, we don't need men. Yeah. Yeah. And then a guy's over there looking at all of his women going, we don't need no man. They're not going to show up.
Yeah.
That's for sure. They're never going to show up. They're never going to come over. They're not that, we're past the stage in our age group of wanting someone. For one, they can't save us, but for us wanting someone to save us, right. If you want someone to save you, then you are not healthy.
You are not healthy. Hero.
Right. You are not healthy because there's only one savior, but you're not healthy if you want someone to save you, because that is not fair. It's not fair.
It's a lot of pressure. And speaking from experience, when you're having to constantly bring somebody else up all the time, it's exhausting.
Yes. Just be you. Yep. Why would we? Why would you? Right. Like, oh, well, she can handle it. So, all right. Peace out.
Yep. And I think that, we could do a whole show.
I want to have, I would love to have guys. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm about to do on my podcast. The first episode will be single females. The second one will be males. And the third one, we're bringing everybody together to see if we can try to figure out some of this problem, because I got my butt chewed the other day on a Facebook comment because someone said, why do guys throw out inappropriate comments, right out of the gate? Because it's working. Somewhere along the line, it's working, or they wouldn't keep doing it. Guys aren't stupid. So then as women, we have to step up and say, I'm not going to accept that. And if everybody stops accepting it, they won't think it's okay.
That's right.
So if we're all so offended that they come out of the gate with, and you've heard some of the comments that I've gotten.
Well, me too. Yeah.
Right.
It's called block, delete.
Right. But somebody somewhere is allowing that, or they wouldn't keep doing it.
Somebody somewhere is. And those are the unhealthy ladies.
Right.
That want attention, or we're missing love, or missing attention, and think that that's the only way that they can get love.
Well, my point was stop
sexual
being so angry.
Innuendos. Let's be honest, that's what it is.
Yes. So, and my point was stop being so angry at the men and saying, "Oh my God, how can they be so stupid?" It's working somewhere.
Yes. Yes.
So,
but you have to have enough self, respect to say no. Like, no, this is not allowed. That's called a boundary.
Yeah. And I have my little comments I shoot back at them, and then I block them. But it's just men or women are not the only ones responsible for the problems. It's both.
Yeah. Have respect and confidence in yourself, and the man will also.
Yeah, for the most part.
For the right, for the most part. It depends. I mean, you know,
Right.
I think that different women want different things.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. There are some women out there that want to be saved. They want some man to come
Oh
in
yeah.
and pay their bills. I heard a horror story of a friend of mine met the girl the first time, and she says, "I got 5 kids, and I need somebody to pay my bills." She told him that, like, I mean, she did not sugarcoat it. She
Mm.
told him exactly what she wanted.
I
And
know a guy who went on a date and she literally said, "What do I have to do to have you pay my electric bill this month?"
yeah, right.
Like, oh my
Like, what?
god.
And you know what the problem is? Like you just said, it works somewhere.
Right.
Somehow she had that get happen. Like
Yeah.
somewhere some dude said, "All right," you know, and that is the problem, the unhealthiness that we allow. Some people are just I don't know.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. You and I both have been there. We've been the unhealthy ones. We're just
Yes.
looking back now. Now we're just looking in the rearview
Yes.
mirror of the unhealthy
Right. Exactly. Not judging
one.
anybody. Not judging anyone.
Right.
I've been unhealthy. I've taken, done, wanted attention seeking things. I mean, when you're void of attention for so many years, after you're out of that relationship, then you're like seeking it all over the place in all different ways, and you don't realize how terrible that is to your self-esteem at the time. You think it's going to fill it up, but as soon as you start doing that, and then you realize, whoa, I'm losing some self-respect, then that's when you usually have a revelation. That's me.
Yeah.
That's my story. Yes, and I'm sticking to it.
And mine is doing things that I'm not authentic because I have a group of people that say, "Oh my God, you've never done that. You should do that." And then I say, "Oh, maybe I should do that." And then I do it. That's not right.
No, no, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've all been there in healthy, unhealthy, you know, it's a big mess sometimes. And what do they say? Finding somebody else who understands your brokenness and who's broken also, and trying to figure that out.
Right.
Hey, Michael.
Michael Jones.
Hey, Michael, we've missed you. Oh, yes. What
Well,
does it take to
you
top of
won't
the
be competing
list?
with me this time, Michael Jones, so you can probably
Sorry.
do
I don't
better.
think there's diamonds anymore. We're not sure.
But I have one because
We've missed you though, Michael. Thanks for joining us. We're talking about independent women and
well,
authenticity.
he has one.
They actually go together. So
He has an independent woman.
that's right. 3 years going. There you go, Tina. And that's the other thing. Sometimes when we're shedding out of our brokenness, and I call it shedding, you know, we are evolving and shedding all of that. It's it's actually um you know getting in a relationship, trying to decide if you should even be out there dating or in a relationship at all. I mean,
Yeah.
that's really the key. Wrong, Tina. LOL. Exactly. Independent woman Tina, huh? Tell her hello. She's there. Anyway.
I just saw Michael Saturday, so I don't miss him as much as you do.
Oh, I miss him. How's that wager going on me moving back to Kansas? How's that wager going?
I mean, I don't know. Now, our comment before the show makes me think I'm changing my mind.
Yeah, I'm getting settled in here finally. Oh my goodness gracious. But you know, let's see. She's not, or I would have to be. Hey, oh, she's not. You better
He's
behave,
opening that
Michael
door. I wouldn't
Jones.
open that door, Michael Jones.
Yeah, Michael Jones. Oh, and I forgot Michael's comment up here. And men see that, and most will prey on that. Exactly. If they see a hot mess girl, if they know a girl is a hot mess, they're like, okay, if I play this one right, we can do XYZ, right? Like, yeah. Oh, it's Jeff. Hey, dog trainer
That's
dude.
super.
It's dog trainer dude. How's the doggies? Miss you.
All the KC people weighing in at the end of the
All
show.
right. Okay, now. Okay. I know KC's starting to win. That ain't good. That ain't good. I know. And you guys would hop on when it's about independent women. Of course, really. Whatever. Okay.
Hey, we
cheers,
could've
you
used-
guys. Come on,
We
guys.
could have
Let's
used
do a
the male
cheers with our
perspective
friends.
this whole show.
Here, we got a cheers, Heather.
Oh, hold on.
We don't know what Heather's drinking. She's drinking weird concoctions. And then, what are you drinking?
Screwball.
Screwball. I've never had that. What are you guys drinking? Jeff and Mike and Teresa and Tina.
Michael Jones.
Michael Jones.
I think that we should do a show where we have a male guest to get a male perspective.
Mhm.
What do you say, Michael Jones?
Red wine.
I think
okay, Maker's Mark and Diet. Yep.
There you go.
Nothing more attractive than an independent woman. I'm working, so drinking nothing. Well, what stadium are you in today? He's got bomb dogs. He's cool.
The drink of the gods.
Okay, it's Maker's Mark and Diet. Really? Okay. Glass of scotch. All right. What kind of scotch? All right. Okay, I can do the male perspective.
Okay.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
He's at the Royal Stadium.
He's at the Royal Stadium. All right. Cool. I saw my first baseball game this last weekend of the season. It's the Tides. They're just the Orioles.
What happens next weekend?
Huh?
You know what happens next weekend?
I don't know.
You know what happens next weekend?
What?
The Chiefs.
Oh, yes. No, but after a few drinks, it is. Aha, buddy. So, all right, you guys. Well, we're talking about independent women and how we can be scary. We can. I mean, right?
We can.
We can't. Independent women are cool. Like, you see them as confident and awesome. They went their own way. But my question to you is, once you get in a relationship with one of those women that you're like, wow, she's cool. How do you deal with it? How do you balance that, Jeff and Michael Jones? Just curious.
Do you struggle with staying in your masculine if they're not in their feminine? Is kind of what we're asking.
Yes. And I'm like the Joker today. I feel like the Joker.
And I am the lady of many drinks.
So my question, there's a 20-second delay, so they didn't hear our question yet. Because it's a 20-second delay. But my question is, we show up, we're independent women. What if we're healthy? Okay, we're healthy independent women. I'm not talking about the unhealthy ones. So we show up in our feminine. How do you guys handle that? Question.
Yeah, we're not the unhealthy crazy ones that's gonna bust through your door and stalk you.
Okay, Allie, whoever Allie is.
I don't know, but I like her.
Thanks, Allie. Okay.
First time I've heard that today.
Oh, here we go. I should have known it was going to be a paragraph.
Let's go.
Go, Michael. Let's go. Yes. Okay. If you will, are two people figuring out how to blend together? Maybe not what you're asking. No, it is. Yeah. Okay. So when you're dating, you recognize the healthy and unhealthy, right? Yeah. It changes and morphs into something more of a blend, right? It takes time. You have to lean in and lean back. Like, you have to compromise. compromising is huge. Like if you're in a relationship and all you want is your way, how boring is that relationship? I
Well,
mean,
I think the big thing is that you have to understand that, again, going back and staying in your feminine, you can't. You have to be cautious of how you approach, how you speak to your man in public. Do not emasculate him. Do not like. You have to keep things to where he feels like he is the leader, and always showing respect. And I think sometimes that comes off the wrong way if you're in your masculine.
right, right. So he says, why don't we say that independent is really normal? I mean, that's true. That I agree with that. Like I think that an independent woman, right? I mean, and it goes back to attachment styles again. Like if you're in your healthy attachment style, you don't need the other person to be successful, to do the things. I mean, you're doing it on your own. I mean, you're not needing their approval or anything. You're needing their support though, but you're just not, you don't have to have that person, right. And he said doesn't have to entertain his significant other and vice versa. Well, that means you've compromised. That's good. Two independent people make a healthy relationship, and that everyone should want such a person. Yes, exactly. Because I mean, I think that, but I have seen some successful marriages where it looked like maybe the woman was kind of clingy or whatever, and I don't know, they made it work for eons of years. They've made it work somehow.
Well, I think you still have men that want to take care of women. They still want to be the one that they're always going to be those right. Old school. You stay home and do this, and I go out and make the money and blah blah blah. And I think that's fine and dandy if that works for you.
Right. If that's works for you.
That's never been the case for me. So I have no idea what that even would look like.
It is healthy. Yeah. Well, I don't, I think over the year, like, I know I'm thinking of a couple in particular, but it's kind of like she knew how to, if I do this, he'll do this kind of thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, but it was kind of like a bargaining thing. It was kind of bargaining. I get it was kind of, but both were aware of what was going on. Like, I think as long as you're aware, that if I do this, then I get that, and I'm not talking about in a physical sense. I'm talking about like tasks.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, by the way. So it doesn't sound right.
If you do the dishes, I'll. Oh.
Now that's a part that needs to be healthy in the relationship too, though, right?
Right.
You have to wonder what their agenda is to control you.
Oh, for sure. And I think that.
Yeah. They should want to take care of each other. Exactly.
No. Yeah. There's a difference in leading and controlling in my book.
There is.
Leading. Now, I don't know that I need someone necessarily to lead so much now that I'm not raising a family, but I just don't want to be the one anymore that's responsible and in control of making all the decisions.
Well, I have recently had to finally submit to myself. Submit to myself.
The word.
Submit. I know, using the word submit. Submit to that I needed help. Like I actually because of my physically, I actually needed the help. Like before I used to try to truck it and do it, but now I recognize, I actually do need help. And that was so hard for me to admit that. Like I was just like, oh my gosh, never before, did I think I physically needed help.
Yeah, I am the first to admit I am horrible at asking for help.
Yes.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Like I will be over here trying to move a bed up the stairs by myself. Be like,
well, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I've been moving since April, like moving things, moving. And it's been really difficult to actually submit to that and say, I need help. and thank you, and, I'm the type, I want to be reciprocal. I'm horrible at like pushing stuff up steps and whatever, but, you know, it was hard. And I learned, okay, Sandy, stop being bullheaded. Like it was my own bullheaded mentality of I have to do this to feel like I'm successful.
Michael just hit on what I was going to say.
Oh. Even that said, I believe that specifically men have misunderstood and hold on of yes, that is misogyny. That's what we're afraid of. That's what women are afraid of. We're afraid of misogyny. We are.
Well,
Let's just call it out. It's the truth. We are afraid that if we give somebody control, that they're going to use it to harm us, not use it to, lead us. There's a difference between harm and leading. And so, that is the fear. The fear nowadays of women is that we are afraid. We're afraid that somebody's going to try to oppress us and make us, bend to their will if they do things for us. And that has been, and that's true, right, Heather? I mean,
to a certain extent, but there again, I think for me, it's because I've gone back to being so in my masculine and like, hey, like I kind of shut that down pretty quick. But there again, sometimes I need to not if it's not meant that way.
Right. But if you have any type of brokenness where a person did control you in another relationship, not carrying that baggage with you into the next relationship is the key, is actually getting rid of that. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying I'm afraid or whatever. That's not what I'm saying. But I think that that's where it stems from, why women are afraid of misogyny, why women, let's see, maybe not with freedom. But again, that takes healthy people. Exactly. It all has to do with your own health factor, your own, where you're at. And that's why we're doing these chats, right, Heather? Is we're trying to help people to look at perspectives and to see where they need improvement in their health level, right? In any topic or situation. Let's see, in dating, is that people feel a clock ticking and move too fast before things can really.
I think things have changed since Michael stopped dating.
Huh?
I think things have changed since Michael stopped dating. Nobody's in a hurry now.
Yeah. Like, Michael, you don't know.
You just missed the cutoff, buddy. You just no one's in a hurry.
That's maybe not the thing. I think we're going like dinosaurs now.
Well, because we've got, you've got 1,000 women and men at your fingertips. So she didn't respond. It's been 15 minutes. Next. Like, it's just, there's no, it takes 6 months to get 3 dates anymore. And I think part of that's because if you're dating healthy people, we're all busy.
Right. And if we're healthy, we're like, okay, yeah. I mean, we're not looking to fill up that void anymore if it's already filled, and so we're going to take our time.
I got called a not very nice name the other day because I told someone, if you want to see me, you're going to have to ask in advance. Like, you can't message me at 7:00 on Thursday and ask me for dinner. I'm going to have plans. So, and he was like, well, aren't you just,
Oh,
okay. Well, yeah, I guess
right.
so.
No, the dating world is left. Well, of course it has. You're married now.
And lucky, how lucky
have.
was.
Make the other person wait for 10 dates to kiss or even hold hands and flush them out.
Yeah.
10 dates? That's a long time.
You ain't going to get 10 dates.
10 dates? That's crazy, Michael.
You're not going to get 10 dates, Michael.
No. I could tell in 5 minutes in a coffee. I'd be like, next. Okay.
Well, it's gotten to the point that if you're not kissing by the second date, then you ain't getting a third.
Really? I don't know if I dealt with that.
I mean, like I said, it has changed so much just in the last year.
Okay, yeah. Well, people, that's where the problem is that people miss, they think that there's more opportunities for them than there really are. I mean, let's be honest, just because, I mean, who was it that I was talking to the other day that they thought the date went really well and then never heard from them again? It's like really weird. Like what is happening? You know, what are you doing tonight, Heather?
Well, I mean, you just said you had a girlfriend, Jeff, so nothing.
Yeah. He can't ask you out, Jeff.
I mean, I do have a dog that needs some serious training, but
she does. Tyson needs some training. Well, Bandit too. No, Bandit's so cute.
You
Tyson
said his name.
nice.
I was speaking out.
Aw.
Tyson.
Aw, he's my buddy.
Yeah.
So, well, okay. This has been a live. We're over, aren't we? We're like over by 5 minutes. Well, thank you guys for joining us here at the end. But yeah. I mean, how did we went from independent women to like dating. However, it is hard if you're going to represent yourself as an independent woman and you're going to have your walls way up and you're not going to let somebody in. Right.
Well, and I think it's just having standards, And again, I'm not speaking that all guys are anything. I'm not going to put a label on it like that. But it's like fishing. It's like fishing for the one bass in a pond full of carp. Like it's
well, that's what I'm saying. Everybody thinks there's more opportunities than there really are. I mean, you're really not going to match and connect with every single person that you match with on your dating app. That ain't going to happen. They're going to swipe right and you're going to swipe right. But if your schedules don't match up, your demographics don't match up, it's never going to happen. Like,
I've made some really great guy friends through dating apps. There wasn't a connection, whatever. We're still friends 2 or 3 years later. But it's just, they're great guys, but they're not what I'm looking for a partner.
Right. And as long as you're like truthful about that in the situation, like, hey, yeah, it's just not working out, but hey, I want to be your friend. That's great.
It's fun to go get drinks with, but there's just not a connection there for that 10th date.
Sorry if you didn't stick to the topic. You never stick to my topic, but we didn't talk about aliens. So I'm just saying.
Thank God. Don't get us started on the aliens. We do not have time.
We don't have time for the aliens tonight, Michael. So sorry. Anyway, you guys, thanks for joining us. If you have any comments after the fact, hit hashtag replay and put your comments out there. Healthy alien dating. I knew he would have to do that. Okay. Anyway, thank you guys. Be authentic with yourself is the thing. Show up authentically.
Podcast. Yeah. And check out my podcast, Motivational Mentor, every Friday.
Motivational Mentor podcast every Friday. And I'll be getting my live stream shows up for Sandy Archer Spiritual Health up soon. I'm going to start it back in the fall. I'm going to start it back in September because then that's when everybody's done doing all their vacationing and I can set up a really good group of people to interview. So join me for your spiritual health journey, helping navigate you to your purpose. So anyway, thank you guys for joining us tonight, and we'll see you next week. And peace out. And I'm going to show our little fun little thing. Come join us next week. All right. Bye.